Hello everyone! Welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and craziest side of tech available on the interwebs. I am your VR gamer, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, Sony has sold 4.2 million PlayStation VR headsets. Check out my review of Beat Saber for the PlayStation VR. And happening in this week's What the... A thief steals 130 eggs from a ramen shop and completely ignores all the money. That and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update. Next. Dance Central doesn't sound like something that should work in virtual reality, let alone work well at all. And while some concessions were necessary to make it work, Dance Central VR is an excellent adaptation of the 7-year-old franchise, according to reviewers. A big piece of the success is the Oculus Quest hardware, though. The standalone headset is due in spring 2019, and Harmonix will be there at launch with Dance Central VR. It's also due for Oculus Rift, with cross-buy for those that aren't quite ready to upgrade to the self-contained Quest. The original Dance Central titles used the Xbox 360 and Xbox One Kinect to track the full body. That's just not possible in VR, so Harmonix commissioned choreography that is mindful of the limitations. We can't score you the same way we used to because we can only track your hands and your head, says Dance Central creative lead Arthur Inasi. That seems to make the experience a little more accessible and less scary for new players. And the fact that you have the helmet on and you aren't seeing the outside world makes it easier for you to lose yourself. The Quest has an expansive tracking field, about 210 degrees, but Harmonix has figured out how to expand that using the new touch controllers shipping with the Quest. We can track acceleration and velocity once we've lost visual tracking. We can track on the controllers themselves even if they're outside the Quest view. It calculates how long it takes to move back into tracking. Harmonix is also careful to ensure that there aren't dance moves that might threaten to fling your brand new VR headset across the room. The choreography is designed to limit head and body gestures, so your expensive Rift or Quest doesn't go flying. We had to consider that when we hired choreographers, that we used moves that were not too extravagant, didn't have you spinning around, didn't have you facing backwards, or walking off in a certain direction. Anasi says we tend to do a lot of movements that are in front of your body or out to the side. Simple left and right type of stuff, no jumping. The in-game experience delivers on the immersion. It's easier to feel comfortable dancing when the world around you is blocked out. The dancer players are asked to mirror are close enough that it feels like they are dancing with you instead of for you. The move flashcards also return to show you what moves are coming up. One of the challenges of any multiplayer space is the possibility of harassment. Harmonix has a solution ready. There are posters that adorn the lounge walls that let players know about a quick way to get rid of bad actors. If you double thumbs down, that mutes their audio and freezes their avatar. It gives you some time to report or even change rooms. Dance Central VR hooks into Oculus system-level reporting and moderation tools. Harmonix has taken the next step to give players an immediate way to protect themselves. In addition to live multiplayer, players can send challenges complete with custom-recorded dance taunts to their friends. Challenge, dance, and wait to see if your friends can top your performance. Dance Central VR feels great to play, even if it doesn't directly challenge players to move their legs in specific ways. The necessary changes for virtual reality certainly change the experience, but they don't detract from you feeling like a dance floor superstar. The game's songs will include chart toppers from the 70s through today. It's not too often that we get farming news on your weekly tech update, but I had to tell you about this one. Farmwise wants robots to do the dirty part of farming. That's weeding, by the way. With that thought, the San Francisco-based startup enlisted the help of Michigan-based manufacturing and automotive company Roche to build prototypes of these self-driving robots. They have put out a picture of the early prototype. The idea is these autonomous weeders will replace herbicides and save the grower on labor. By using high-precision weeding, the robotic farmhands can increase the yield of the crop by working day and night to remove unwanted plants and weeds. After all, herbicides are in part because weeding is a terrible job. With Roche, Farmwise will build a dozen prototypes in 2019 with the intention of scaling to additional units in 2020. But why Michigan? Michigan is well known throughout the world for its manufacturing and automotive industries, the advanced technology expertise, and state-of-the-art manufacturing practices. These are many of the key ingredients that Farmwise needs to manufacture and test their machines. They were connected to Roche through support from Planet M and a technology startup. Joining forces with a large and well-respected legacy automaker is critical to support the scale of the manufacturing plan. Roche has a long history in Michigan as a leading manufacturer of high-performance auto parts. More recently, the company has expanded its focus to using its manufacturing expertise elsewhere, including robotics and alternative fuel system design. Now, this collaboration showcases the opportunities that result from connecting startups like Farmwise with Michigan-based companies like Roche that bring their manufacturing know-how to making these concepts a reality. Farmwise was founded in 2016 and has raised $5.7 million through a seed stage investment, including an investment from Playground Global. TechCrunch first saw Farmwise during Alchemist Accelerator's Batch 15 demo day. Oh, so much VR news. Marvel's Ironman VR is coming to PlayStation VR sometime this year. The announcement was made during Sony's inaugural State of Play streaming presentation. The trailer for Ironman VR mostly consists of a combat sequence that takes place in midair. Tony Stark's plane is ambushed by an unknown force. With the help of his digital assistant Friday, he leaps from the crippled vessel, dons the Iron Man suit, and goes into action. Players can clearly be seen using their hands to attack enemies with the Iron Man suit's iconic hand blasters. That's really all I need in a VR game. The trailer also includes cutscenes clearly labeled as not actual gameplay. According to Marvel's own blog post on the announcement, Stark confronts ghosts from his past, powerful forces who seek to ruin him and everything he stands for, alongside iconic allies and supervillains as they jet around the globe on a heroic mission to save not only Stark Industries, but the world itself. This particular Iron Man suit is called the Impulse Armor and is brand new. The Marvel post also includes an animation that appears to show some of the flight mechanisms and maneuverability that the final game will offer players. The game is in development by Camouflage and is a significant change in tactic for the studio. Its previous title, Republic, was successfully funded on Kickstarter in 2012. The third-person stealth adventure was originally released episodically before recently being ported to VR. No price point was given for the game. The release window is listed as sometime in 2019.